Hey guys, it's Katie again here on the Veggie option, coming at you with another plant-based recipe. Today we're going to be making vegan deli meat, specifically turkey slices today. So it sounds kind of weird, but there's a thing called Seitan here in the vegetarian vegan community that is basically using the protein from wheat called vital wheat gluten, and we're going to be combining that with some tofu and a bunch of awesome spices. I'm not kidding you, my husband loves this stuff. He's not vegan, but he prefers this over normal deli slices. Wait, Logan, is that true that you like my deli slices better?
Yes, honey, yours are much better.
See? From the man himself. So the ingredients that you need to make these vegan deli slices are vital wheat gluten. You can find this in the bulk section of most grocery stores or in the packaged specialty flour section. But like I mentioned, this is just the protein from wheat, so it's definitely not gluten-free, but it is a great source of vegan protein if you can handle gluten. We're also going to need a block of firm tofu. This adds a really good consistency to the roast. And then we're gonna need a whole bunch of spices. So we're gonna need garlic granules, nutritional yeast, Greek Freak by Spiceology, the turkey rub from Spiceology, liquid smoke, cornstarch, vegetable broth concentrate. We're gonna start by patting dry our tofu as much as possible. It's okay that there's still some water in there because it is gonna add moisture to the roast. However, pat off any excess water that's from the container, crumble it apart into your food processor, and pulse that until it becomes smooth in consistency. So once your tofu is nice and smooth, we're gonna add in the vital wheat gluten and pulse that a few times to start to form the dough. And then we're gonna add in the rest of our ingredients and let the food processor run. This is going to knead the dough and start to create that firm texture that we want as a result. Depending on how much water was in your tofu, you're probably gonna need to add a little bit extra water to make sure that it can blend really well. So add up to another half cup of water, adding just a tablespoon at a time until you get a consistency that can blend really well and is gonna be a nice dough. So once your dough is all kneaded, you're gonna wanna lay out a piece of tin foil. You could also use parchment paper. I have done it with both and they come out similarly. Then you're gonna wanna add a tablespoon or so of oil. I used extra virgin olive oil here, and spread that out on either your tin foil or your parchment paper. This is gonna help our roast from sticking to the paper, and it's also gonna help adhere the topping that we're gonna add to it. So once you have the oil evenly spread, sprinkle on a bit of your Spiceology Turkey Rub. I've also done this with some of Spiceology's other rubs. I really love how it comes out with the turkey rub, but you could go in any direction you want here. I've used the Black Magic Cajun rub, and there's just so many possibilities based on the flavor that you want. But I love the turkey for this. So once the dough is well combined and still has a little bit of tack to it, take it out of your food processor and knead it just a few times by hand on your countertop. It should be a little bit sticky, but it shouldn't stick too bad to your hands. And if it does, then you might need to add a little bit more vital wheat gluten. Once you have your dough in your desired shape, you're just gonna lay it on the oiled and spiced tin foil or parchment paper, and then you're gonna sprinkle some more turkey rub on top, making sure that it's entirely coated with the rub. Once you have your spices coating the entire roast, we're gonna wrap up the tin foil. This is gonna keep in a lot of the moisture to make sure that your roast cooks properly, and it's also gonna help when we stick it in the Dutch oven. If you don't have a Dutch oven, you can just set it on a baking sheet, and we're gonna throw that into a 350-degree oven for about 40 minutes. It does take a while to cook just based on how dense it is, but trust me, it is so worth the wait. So once your 40 minutes has gone by, you're gonna wanna pull your roast out of the oven, open up the tin foil. You can leave the tin foil underneath, but open it up and we're gonna put it back in the oven for an additional about 30 minutes. And you're gonna wanna keep an eye on it at this point, making sure that it doesn't dry out too much. But you can kind of do that by poking the roast. It should feel a little bit bouncy and you shouldn't feel any big air pockets. If you do, it might be getting overcooked, so you wanna pull that out. So once that last 30 minutes are up, you can take it out and then you can let it sit out on the counter and cool for a while. You could cut it up now. This is what I did for Easter this year, was I had the roast and served it warm, sliced it a little bit thicker like it was a turkey roast or a turkey breast. But for this recipe, to get the vegan deli slices, throw that sucker in the fridge and let it cool. There's limitless options to what you can do with these deli slices. Alrighty, I got my toasted bread, so now it's time to assemble this sandwich. I'm gonna start off with a base of vegan mayonnaise because I think my husband would kill me if I didn't put mayonnaise on a sandwich. He's in love with it, and the vegan version tastes exactly the same as normal mayonnaise, so you're really not missing out on anything there. So some mayo, and then we'll start to layer up. So here we have it, the vegan turkey sandwich with vegan deli slices. Let's give it a taste. Oh, that is so good. You really get the seasoning from the turkey slices. They are so delicious. And the creaminess of the avocado and the mayonnaise perfectly balance out our crispy sourdough bread. Ooh, this is arguably a perfect vegan sandwich. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you give this a try. It looks a little complicated, but trust me, the longest thing that takes is just it cooking in the oven. Other than that, it's a really simple recipe to get some vegan mock meat in your house without having to go to the grocery store. I love that it's homemade. I love that I know every single thing that is in here, so it's a really great alternative to buying packaged vegan meats. So I hope you guys give this a try and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thanks so much. Bye.